today we are going to study section 3.13 of chapter 3, Kirchhoff rule. This is one of the important rules for exam as well as to understand electricity. So let's read it. Electric circuit generally consists of number of resistors and cells interconnected, sometimes in complicated way. In a complicated means parallel series combination like that together. The formula we have derived earlier to series and parallel combination resistors are not always sufficient to determine all the current and potential difference in the circuit. Two rules called Kirchhoff rule are very useful for analysis of electric circuit. Given a circuit, we start by labeling current in each resistor by symbol say I and directed arrow to indicate the current flow along the resistor in direction indicated. If ultimately I is determined to be positive, the actual current in the resistor is in direction of arrow. If I turn out to be negative, the current actually flow in direction opposite to the arrow. Similarly, for each source, that is cells or some other source of electric power, the positive and negative electrodes are labeled as well. The directed arrow with symbol for current flowing through the cell. This will tell us the potential difference. Okay, B. What happened just now? I don't know. B between the positive terminal P and negative terminal I. I is the current flowing from N to P. As we know, N is for negative and P for positive terminal. If what happened? Where is that? That intensity 8000. If while labeling the current I through the cell 1 goes through from P to N. Through the battery, it is current always from N to P. Remember, okay, negative terminal to positive terminal. This is one condition, and through the resistor. If I labeling the current I through cell goes from P to N, then of course V is E plus IR. Okay, that internal resistance is counted. Now let's state the rule. So actually there are two rules according to Kirchhoff rule. This is just for simplification circuit. First is junction rule and Kirchhoff junction rule. Current and this some type of current law also. Okay, what its statements? Remember, at any junction, the sum of current entering the junction is equal to the sum of current leaving the junction. What at any junction means at any point where all the wire meet with a wire, different wire, the sum of current entering the junction is equal to the sum of current leaving the junction. Okay, if we look at in this diagram, if we look at 3.2, this figure is a circuit diagram is given, and if you look at this point A, okay, left hand side, if you can see point A or B, there are two. So at point A you can see the direction of current is already mentioned. Okay, at A the current I3, you can see it, current I3 is toward point A, and current I2 is away from point A to downward, and current I1 is also away from point A. So you can see at this junction A, if we take I3 as positive toward the point A, so then we can take minus I1 and I2 as negative. So the total current at junction A will be, I have taken I3 as toward is positive and away negative. Toward the point A is positive and toward away from point A is negative current. So in considering that I3, the total current at this junction will be I3 minus I1 minus I2 equal to 0. This is what. And similarly, okay, this is one of the example as junction rule. At any junction, the sum of current entering junction is equal to the sum of current leaving the junction. Means if I3 is toward the point A, so I1 and I2 are leaving. So I3 is equal to simply I1 plus I2. You can simply say it that way also. This applies equally if instead of junction of several lines we consider a point in line. Okay. The proof of this rule follows the fact that when current are steady, there are no accumulation of charge at in junction or at any point in line. Thus, the total current flowing in at which charge flow into the junction must equal to total current flowing out. In simple, total current flowing in must equal to the total current flowing out. Now, next is called loop rule. And this loop rule is also known by Kirchhoff voltage rule. Loop rule is Kirchhoff loop rule or Kirchhoff voltage law. Why we call it voltage law? Let me. So what is statement? The algebraic sum of change in potential. The algebraic sum of changes in potential around any closed loop involving resistor and cell in loop is 0. The algebraic sum of changes in potential around any closed loop involving resistor and cell in loop is 0. And this loop is okay. Let us understand this second loop also. So for that, what I need, where I should go. Okay, here examples are given. So many examples are given. So let me explain how this loop rule can be explained with the help of this diagram. Now, if we look at again this figure 3.22. Now, or what I'll do, I'll draw the diagram simple in my whiteboard. Remember, but it's quite difficult. Let me try how it can be done. I need a straight line. This is a type of circuit we have seen. Resistor, and then parallel one more, and resistor. Circuit complete, and then one more connect resistor, and then it is connected. Okay, it's connected. So let's name it. First of all, how to name it? This point A, this is B, this is C, this is D, this is E, and this is F. Okay, now we name it. So the loop means here voltage loop. This is your loop. Well, I'll remove it. So we'll use some other pen. Into that I use dark pen. So the loop names. What are the loop names? Now in this circuit diagram, that is complete circuit. As you can see, there are no connect. In this circuit diagram, okay, this should be complete. Otherwise, it is. So there are two loops, and I'm making a circle. Let's make it the two loops. First is AB. This is a loop. Okay, or I'll make it again. Yeah. Okay, start from A. So the loop name will be, first loop is A, B, E, F, A. A, B, E, F, A. This is the one loop. Another loop we took a look at. This is another loop. Okay, I'm taking anti-clockwise loop. So it is B, C. So another loop, next loop is B, C, and D, E, and B. Start from there and end the same point. So if we look at these two loops, now remember. So let's look at only the upper loop. So how to solve it? Okay, how to do it? Huh. Now if we look at this loop, the upper one, I'm just using another pen, black. Okay. If you look at this upper loop, I'll just simply remove, otherwise in the loop ABEFA, as it was in the statement. What was the statement? Loop rule: the algebraic sum of changes in potential around any closed loop. Changes in potential around any closed loop involving resistor and cells in the loop is 0. Changing, okay? We are measuring the changes. So what is changes? So if you look at ABF, and let's name it also battery name. I have not named the component name. E1 is the battery, this, and E2 is this battery, and this one is R1, this one is R2, and this one is R, we can say it, or, and the current through this resistor. Okay, it should be very clear. So I am just for simplicity, I am going again to this diagram over here. Remember what are the names given. This point is A, this is B, this is C, D, E, F. Okay. Now if you look at the upper loop, what? It is very much clear. The potential difference. Okay, we are putting the battery potential EMF is E1 and E2, and not this diagram. Okay, oh, this is a diagram. Okay, I'm just taking a simple diagram. So let me go back to my own diagram. Okay, in this diagram, what you can, the potential difference here, in the upper circuit A, B, E, F, A, there are two sources of EMF. Okay, one is E1 and one is E2. Okay, now one more thing, direction of current should also mention. If we know it, remember the direction of current. This arrow. You may be wondering why I am giving the arrow like this, and in the bottom it is in opposite. Why I am giving? Current always flow from positive to negative, or negative to positive. You tell me. बैटरी की पॉजिटिव से नेगेटिव और नेगेटिव की पॉजिटिव, टेल मी. करंट ऑलवेज फ्लो फ्रॉम. So here remember, current always here from battery. If you see, this is your negative terminal. Okay, this one is a negative and this one is a positive. The bigger line is positive, and so here negative to positive. So remember, this is the direction. These two batteries all can, so current, whatever the current, let's say current in first part is I1 and the second is I2. Okay, I'm just writing here. Okay, now if you look at the potential difference, negative to positive, positive to negative, and we have taken the loop ABEF. Okay, there is some convention, you should know it. So I'm just reading from your now both. Okay, just remember, if we traverse in the direction of current in a mesh, in a loop, then the product of current and corresponding resistance is taken as positive. And the product of current means in upper circuit I1 is the current or R1 is the resistor, so that is taken as positive, because okay, if we travel in the direction means in a loop, and opposite to convention current will be negative. What is convention current? And again dusra, if we travel from negative to positive electrode, if you look at the battery, If we travel from negative to positive electrode of the cell through the electrode, then EMF is taken as positive. So as we travel from A to B, okay, in the loop as name, so A, it is battery negative to positive, so we can take E1 as positive, because here, okay, E1 is positive. But if we from go to B to E, B to E, this one, then it is from, we are traveling from positive to negative, so the E2 is taken as negative. So the potential difference is E1 plus D2. On further going, okay, if we further move, then there are register. Direction of R1, R2 and I2. Convection current, flow of electron. And it is I1, I2 plus R2 minus, if you go again from F, E to F, nothing is there. What I'll do something new. I'll draw a new one, just to don't save it, just to simplicity. I am making only the 1 minute. I'm making a very small one. This is a battery, this is your resistor. I finish. This is your, oh, cancel out. This is a battery, positive, negative. This is your resistor. Remember, don't make gap, don't leave any space. I am leaving because I'm doing with hand. Okay. So here it is E1. Okay, let me okay, I use another pen to make it. So this is E1, this is E2, this is R1 resistor, this is R2, and the current direction. This is I1 and this is I2. Okay, this is current direction, left to right. So, and this is loop number A, B, what is its name, E, F, A. So A, B, F, A loop mein, if you look at, so from A to B, so A is connected to battery, so where we are in the direction of current, so it is taken as positive, so E1 positive. But when we reached from B to E, so B to E ongoing, we see that B positive to negative, we are going moving opposite to the direction of current, so that is why E2 is taken as negative. Okay, now this equal to, I can simply write, and now we could about register, and now this equal to this, again we come across current is flowing I2 and register is R2 here, you can see here. Now from B to E again, R2 and I2, that is simply I2 R2. Convention current direction means, convention current means electron directions, and here it is opposite to it, so it is minus I1 R. So this is so this is Kirchhoff voltage law, voltage or loop rule. So there are two conventions, remember, traveling in the direction of current. Traveling, if you travel in the direction of current, then battery, the EMF voltage is taken as positive. But if we in the direction of current, or you can say from negative electrode to positive electrode, then that then potential is taken as positive. Whereas if we look at from A to B, nothing is connected, but from B to, while going from B to E, we first battery come which is from positive electrode, which is opposite to the rule, so we take E2 as negative, and on further going R2 and RE, convention current opposite direction, so we simply I2 R2 or plus I2 R2. Minus then I1 I1 R1. As we know, V is equal to IR, so that is the same rule. So this is all we measure, because I into R is also a potential. So if you have doubt, you can ask me for more clarification, because it should be very clear. There are simple rules. Here is simple, but if we look at the first rule is for junction rule. This is the point that three lines come current. One current I1 enter, I1, this is I2, and this is I3. You can see at the junction, I1 is, if you take I1 as positive, the I1 is positive, whereas I2 and I3, because they are moving away from junction point, so they can be taken as negative. So it says that statement I1 minus I2, or simply I1 is equal to I2 plus I3. Okay, I2 plus I3, that's means the amount of current in is equal to amount of current moving out. And there are some examples in your what I know that something happened, that is going on. Okay, I believe it is clear now. There are examples in your this, so you can see those problems and can, okay. The next important thing, you can see your now board also to look at the problems. Later on I will post a problem for assignment. Now next topic is 3.14, which is Wheatstone bridge. This is another, but it is for practical purpose. Wheatstone bridge and its specification. Now what is Wheatstone? In 1842, Professor Wheatstone of England gave a new idea to determine the value of unknown resistor. To determine it, he used four resistance in particular arrangement of circuit, and this arrangement is known as Wheatstone bridge. Okay, Wheatstone is the England who gave the idea to determine the value of unknown resistance, and to determine it he used four resistance in particular arrangement of circuit, and this arrangement is, you can see here, this is the arrangement in where four resistance R1, R2, R3 and R4 are connected along the sides of parallelograms. Okay, now let's read it how they are. The bridge has four resistors, which is called Wheatstone. The bridge has four resistors R1, R2, R3, R4 across one pair of diagonally opposite point AC. Cross only one pair. Oh, sorry, my mistake. Again, this is very simple to understand. Remember, very easy topic. Now what you can see, along point A and C, a battery is connected. Okay, two cells, because so I call it battery, and whose EMF is E. Along point A and C, a battery is connected, and along the diagonal B and D, you can see a G is connected, which is called galvanometer. We will study about galvanometer later on. It is okay, it's a device name which is used to measure the flow of current. Remember, galvanometer is a device to use to not to know that current is flowing, to not to measure but to know the presence of current. Okay, the galvanometer is a device which is here to find out whether the current is flowing in the circuit or not. How much? We have different, for that we have different device. So let's read it. So that BD arm is called galvanometer arm and AC arm is called, oh, again I move fast, I think so. That's a circuit diagram, remember, huh? That's not the actual Wien bridge. Okay, Wheatstone bridge. That's a theoretical diagram. Practical one we will see later on. Okay, after this. Today only we can see. Okay. Now, for simplicity, we assume the cell has no internal resistance. That means small r is 0. In general, there will be current flowing across all the resistors as well as current Ig through galvanometer. For special interest, in case of balancing of bridge, where resistors are such that Ig is 0, okay. This was all the statement. What is Wheatstone bridge? Wheatstone bridge is a device to measure to find out the value of unknown resistance, and for this Wheatstone arrange 4 resistors R1 and R2 and R3 in particular arrangement circuit, which is shown in the figure, which is called Wheatstone bridge. What is the principle? And that is simply the structure. And what is the principle? Here this simply means, acha, remember, you can see in the diagram R4 is the unknown register whose value we need to find out. R1, R2 and R3 are known. R1, R2 are known register, fixed one, and R3 is variable register that we will learn, and unknown is R4. So what is the principle? You remember, this is the one number. When the bridge is, we call it Wheatstone bridge, when the bridge is balanced, then the value of current through galvanometer, which is we denote by letter Ig, is 0. And in this condition, for balancing the bridge, the current through galvanometer should be 0, means Ig is 0, and when Rg is equal to 0, then simply the ratio of the two arms R1 R2 upon R4 should equal to R1 upon R3. This is the simple principle. Okay, remember the ratio of resistor R2 upon R4 should equal to R1 upon R3. That's the principle. Or simply in our Renovo, that is upon P upon Q is R equal to R upon S, because they have name PQRS unknown, where S is unknown resistor. Because I am teaching you from the NCERT book, CBSE book, so I am okay. Now here it is one. Here we will use to Kirchhoff voltage loop rule or current rule as well. You can see this is very easy to draw the diagram. Now how to draw it? Let me show you. New, very easy one, huh? I'm just saying. So what I'll do, I'll first connect 4 resistors along the 4 arms. I'll put what was there in the book. I'll put this one is P, this one is Q for from my both book, R, and this one is S. And now this A, C, and this is point. Okay, remember. I'll use different pen. This is A one junction, this is C, this is B, and this is D. Between A and C, what I'll connect? A battery. Okay, it is difficult to draw, so I draw. And from B and D, I draw a galvanometer. Remember, it's connected. Now, how to give the directions? As the battery connected, remember the flow of current negative to positive. So the current will start. I'll use another pen to show you more better. Now the current direction from negative to positive, so the current will start flowing. Once the battery is connected, the current starting from this end and reaches to A. Now here in A junction, the two lines. So the part of current will flow into P register and part of current. Let's say the current till A is I, and this current is divided a part of it. So let's say the current I2 here and current I2. If I2 is here, then how much? Let's say sorry, my mistake. I'll put it name I1. Let's say current I1 is flowing in AB arms. Okay, this is the amount of current. So how much current is left? The left current will part of current will flow in R so it will be, if I write it, so it will be simply I minus I1. Okay, the current will, this is like that. Now if we look at only about I1 current, then I1 current will again when reaches point B, junction B, it has again two paths, on this along G and along Q. So along B, let's say along B I2 current flows. So part of I1 which left is I1 minus I2. Or what I'll do, as I know the current flowing, current flowing through galvanometer is Ig. So the part of the here is simply I1 minus Ig will flow through arm B. Okay, current is dividing itself, and when this current reaches junction, what is in C? Okay, now again we'll look at the current which is flowing in arm AD. So I1 minus I2. So here you know it is not clear diagram. How do I don't know how to draw it very clearly. That's a difficult board draw. But we can use that our book only to understand more. Okay, let's because it is quite difficult. So we are up in this case Kirchhoff junction will apply to junction DB. Now here are two loops. You can see in the diagonal from left to the diagonal, this one is one loop and one is this one loop. The current values are already mentioned, how much current is flowing. Now we apply the Kirchhoff loop to closed loop ADBA. ADBA. ADBA, okay, in reverse there, ADBA. So if you look at ADBA, A to D, current is I1, resistance R1, so their product is I1 into R1, that is always in the direct convention current, it is minus I1 R1, plus, as there is no battery source, IG value is 0. So in D to B, the current is IG, so it is IG, we simply write, but IG value is 0, so it is simply right. And then again B to A, and B to A, it is plus I2 R2, because we are going opposite to the current, so is equal to 0. This is tension rule. Again, in the second loop, which loop is CBDC, anti-clockwise. CBDC, if you go from C to B, we are going opposite, so it is I4 R4 positive, then I plus 0, IG 0, then minus I3 R3, because we are going in the direction of current. So once we put the value of equating the two, equation 3.81 and 3.82, what is left? In the first from 3.81, you can see if we transpose negative one to the other side, or I2 R2 other side, we will find I1 R1 is equal to I2 R2. And similarly with 3.82 equation, we simply write I2 R4 is equal to I1 upon R3, and when we divide both the sides, I1 upon I2, so from equation 3.81 and 3.8, solving it, I1 upon I2 is equal to R2 upon R1, and I1 upon I2 is equal to R4 upon R3. So we simply got, on equating the two, one, R2 upon R1 is equal to R4 upon R3. So this is the last equation, or this is called principle, which I said earlier, this P upon Q is equal to R upon, or from the diagram, it simply means R2 upon R1 is equal to R4 upon R3. This last equation written the 4 resistor is called balance condition of the galvanometer to give 0 or null deflection. 0 or null deflection in galvanometer means IG current is 0. So the Wheatstone bridge and its balance condition provide a practical method for determining an unknown resistance. So as we said, R4 is unknown resistance. So from this equation we can simplify, we rearrange, and we got the equation 3.R3, R4 is equal to R3, R2 upon R1. R3, R2 and R1 are known resistors. And how to use it? This is one of the examples you can see in the diagram. The things are given and unknown resistor has to find. So either you can use a direct formula by putting in equation 3.83, or by going a longer term which you don't remember, by using a Kirchhoff rule, because in exam they will ask use a Kirchhoff law to find it. So you cannot use principle directly. Now, the application, and in practical way, the Kirchhoff law, how it is useful to find the unknown resistor, is the meter bridge is that practical. The meter bridge is that practical part. Okay. Okay, the relation 3.83a, this is a principle. If somebody has the Wheatstone bridge, then you will have to, by Kirchhoff law, you have to come to this point 3.83. And this is the principle of imbalance Wheatstone bridge. And meter bridge is based on Wheatstone bridge principle to find out the, and this is the actual setup of the instrument. Not a circuit diagram, it is an actual setup. Why it is called a meter bridge? That's one of the reasons. The meter scale is used here, which is 100 meter. So here we have used a 100 meter wire. You can see this is 100 meter wire just above the scale, and here RS, and this is a circuit diagram. Okay, these blue thick plates basically are copper plates or silver plates. In our laboratory we have a silver plate, but in standard one earlier they used a copper plate. for good connectivity or good current flow, less resistance. So let's see what is weight. So it consists of wire of length of 1 meter, 1 meter, I my 100 centimeter means, and the uniform cross section area stretched taut and clamped between two thick metallic strip bent at right angle as shown. The metallic strip has two gaps across which resistor be connected on the door A and C. The end point where the wire is clamped are connected to cells through the key. You can see from between A and C we have down here battery is connected through a key K1. One end of the galvanometer is connected to the metallic strip midway between the two gaps. You can see from point B a wire is connected to a gateway, and here is an arrow which is called jockey, the other end of. So we'll study tomorrow about meter bridge.